Today we're going to talk about digital feedback and how to make it relevant and meaningful for our students. The number one thing we want to do with our digital feedback is make it a conversation with students. So it shouldn't be one-way critiques and corrections and then be done with it. It should be a conversation where we're prompting the student to respond. We should expect a response when we give people feedback. We need to be very aware of our intent, our tone, and our format. I highly suggest choosing one or two formats. I'll show you a couple different ones today, but pick one or two that works best for your workflow, and that will help simplify it for your students as well. Our intent and our tone can be misinterpreted frequently when we use digital communication, just like in a text message where we're not sure how to read somebody's mood. So what we know here is if we use color and avoid red, because it tends to have an alert response. So using blue, purple, green, some type of color in our response in our text, using stickers, our digital stickers, which you could just Google search an image and paste in, or you could use canva.com to create your own stickers. But creating digital stickers, using color, using a Bitmoji to convey facial expressions, helps with tone. So these are things that can help us when communicating with students. This is how they communicate with each other with emojis and Bitmojis. So this is a good way for us also to convey our tone when we're discussing feedback with students. The feedback fix talks about moving from feeding back to students, which is generally a one-way conversation, to feeding forward, taking things and assignments and repurposing them and continuing to draw them out for learning processes. So if we have 5 assignments, we're going to pick the 2 that are the most in-depth, the 2 that are the best out of the 5. And those are the ones that if a student completes it, it should be rare that they get 100% the first time they complete it. Should be something that they continue to have to go back to and reset new goals and work and strive towards growth on those 2 assignments. We have amplifiers to expand our students' thought. So these are some of the ways that we might start our feedback so that it is something that we can help students expand on. My favorite is like, what if? What if we tried this? Like, what if you did this in this way? What if tends not to be an attacking comment. People tend not to react to it as something that alarms them, but it's generally a thought provoker. These are some questions you can also take and assign in the very first part of the assignment. Let them know that these are things that you're going to ask them to talk about when they turn in their work. It talks about extending further, having them prompted to decide what would you do next, what steps are you going to take, what strategies are you going to use, or what strategies did you use? So maybe they got all the math problems right, but they haven't written down the process or the strategy they used to figure it out. Have them add a writing component. What might you want to learn more about because of this? And that might lead to a type of genius project or something that they can work on their own. Did you get a new perspective or challenge your point of view or introduce you to new techniques, skills, or a process? What connections can you make from this? How does this connect to what we learned last week? And what challenges did you encounter and what were your strengths? They're all questions that will give a conversation. They're questions, so students should be prompted to respond. And not everyone's looking for vertical advancement. There's plenty of times that our students are really just content. So it's okay for us to push them, but especially during a remote learning opportunity, it might be okay for us to ask them, what is your goal? Like, what are you working for? So rubrics are one of the best ways to have easy feedback. You can have a digital rubric. You can fill in the boxes with like just shading them in. So if I gave an assignment and a student got the rubric back and they were at a C, they have 2 more columns of movement. They have 2 more goals that have been set for them. There are specific content and specific skills that are identified already. So helping a student talk through this rubric would be one of the ways I might help them repurpose that assignment, go back to it, try it again. So that one assignment potentially has 4 different attempts, depending how well they do the first time. Using a shared Google Doc is one way that you can put all of your feedback in one place. So creating a table similar to this that has the task, the explanation, and the due date, your feedback, and the next move for the student, and the student's response to you. Making sure that you indicate in the directions when you post this on Google Classroom that a response from students is expected. I would attach this to an assignment as like make it an assignment itself and make a copy for every student. So then when you're doing feedback, you'll just open that in the grading and you'll have all the students shared docs in one place, and you can go through and do all your feedback in an easy manner. Oh, the one thing I would do here is use the comment feature. So if I put feedback in that middle column, I'll highlight my words, go to the comment feature, and tag the student by doing @ and the student's login so that it will send them an alert to check that document. Google Classroom using private comment. So as I'm grading an assignment, at the very bottom of that grading screen, it says private comment. And I can kind of do a chat back and forth with that student about that particular assignment. I can use my personal comment bank. So things that I feel like are redundant and that I repeat often, I'm going to copy those and paste them from my comment bank and leave those in my comment bank for year after year after year. And if you use Classroom on the mobile app, so you're using on your iPad, you can do annotations. That has kind of a scribe feature. Video is a great way to give feedback. It doesn't have to be in real time. It doesn't have to be a Zoom or WebEx meeting, but just screencasting what you're looking at for somebody's paper. So if I'm reading someone's essay, I can highlight what I'm talking about. I don't have to write anything or type anything. It requires them then to listen and watch the video to figure out what they need to work on to continue. Flipgrid is another place. Screencast-O-Matic and Active Presenter are all great programs that can help you create those screencasts or just video your response to a student and send it out. Making sure that it doesn't have to be perfect. That will take too much time if you continue to re-record and edit. These are just to get the feedback out to a student quickly. So just a quick recording and then share with the student. Voice notes feedback is a feature on Kaizena. So Kaizena not only allows the voice audio feature, but videos, and you can pop in comments and PDFs and resources. So Kaizena really kind of puts all of the different types of feedback into one component. It's best with written work. So summaries, DBQs, and essays are generally the area, or even lab reports. This would work well with lab reports too. So Kaizena is an add-on through Google Docs. So when you're in Google Docs, go to your add-on, drop-down menu, find Kaizena, and then you activate it and log in with Google, and it's good to go. Here, as we create editing shortcuts, so we can add little comments that are maybe abbreviated that allow us then to have an expansion on that idea. So if we watch this by Catlin Tucker.
Hey, this is Catlin, and I wanted to show teachers using Google Documents how to set up really quick shortcuts to save time as they're grading within a Google Doc. So if you go into any Google document in the account you typically use to edit student work, go to Tools at the top of a document, any document in that account, click Preferences, and you're going to see all of these automatic preferences that Google has already set up for you. But at the top, there's a blank space here, so you can add your own preferences. So let's say I have a lot of students using sentence fragments. I might write frag as my kind of shortcut, and then I would put in a phrase like, fragment, the sentence is incomplete, please correct. So then, if I click OK, and I'm in a student document, so you're going to see here, actually the student did not finish this sentence. If I write, let me go into editing mode actually, so it turns up in a different color. So if I add the phrase FRAG, and then I hit the space bar, that automatic statement is going to pop up there. I didn't have to write a different comment. I didn't have to type it out. I just had my little shortcut, and boom, the direction to the student pops up in the text. And you can add.
So that's one way to do that. And then also, now looking at video feedback. So if you have students giving you screencasts of slides or their own work or doing some type of explanation or presenting, you can watch the video. My favorite is to use Comment Bubble. This is Comment Bubble. You can watch the video. At the bottom, there are, little buttons down here at the bottom. So down at the bottom, you'll have buttons that say, this is great. Please explain more. I like this. But you also can type in your own personal comment. It will timestamp it in the video so the student knows exactly where you put a comment. So this is a really nice way to be able to give them really specific feedback, task-specific feedback on a video. Google Forms is another place that you can add feedback for correct and incorrect answers. So you want to make it a quiz in quiz mode. If I had a multiple choice question, I'm then going to hit answer key and select my answer, put in my point, and then I will see at the bottom the place that says feedback. And I'll click on it. It shows up right where answer key is now. When I hit answer key, then it will actually say feedback. Incorrect answer, here's my feedback. Correct answer, here's my feedback. I can put video links. I can put links to PDFs to help them to learn what they did not do correctly the first time. The other way you can do is if you have a short answer, you do your answer key. You can put all the different types of answers that might be correct for a short answer, mark all the others wrong, and then you have that add answer feedback option as well. Flubaroo is a really great place to give feedback. It provides a place for short answers to grade short answer questions quickly and independently, question by question. It gives fast feedback. It connects with forms and sheets, and it also allows a place where it says like optional personalized feedback. So you could potentially give every single student in the class their own specific feedback on one assignment, and you do it from a spreadsheet, which just makes the workflow much, much easier. The final thing to consider is our peer feedback. A lot of times students can get feedback from their peers by using Google Slides and then writing under, like every student has a slide, and then the assignment is to go in and give feedback on 3 other people's slides. So you have to put your name and then your feedback, and then they generally need prompts and they generally need a little guidance on how to do that nicely. Having students fill out a Google form on somebody else's work, and then using comment features on shared documents. So those are ways that peer feedback can become digital, and that sometimes takes some of the feedback off of our plate. If they get peer feedback, they don't necessarily need feedback from a teacher as well. So hopefully this has helped you to see what kind of feedback you can possibly design digitally to help stay in communication with your students and keep that learning cycle moving forward.